Have you ever stopped to consider that there's something more flowing through your veins than just red blood cells and oxygen? That maybe, just maybe, your blood holds ancient secrets about who you really are. From the beginning of time, blood has been viewed as sacred. And that's not just some poetic metaphor. Almost every major spiritual tradition across the world treats blood as mystical, divine, and filled with power. The ancient Egyptians believed it was the very essence of the soul. The Celts used blood in protective rituals, connecting it to their ancestors and the spiritual realm. Even today, when someone says "blood of my blood," they're speaking about a connection that's way deeper than DNA. They're talking about a soul-level bond. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Science, in its quest to understand the body, stumbled upon something most people never think about in a spiritual sense. Out of more than 8 billion people on this planet, with endless differences in language, culture, and personality, there are only 4 basic blood types: O, A, B, and AB. That's it. Just 4. And yet, each of these blood types carries something totally unique, a kind of vibrational fingerprint. It doesn't just determine how your body works, but also how your soul expresses itself. When you start looking at blood types from a spiritual perspective, a whole new world opens up. You begin to see your blood as more than a biological liquid. It becomes a map, an energetic blueprint of your spiritual essence. Let's rewind back to your very beginning. Before your heart formed, before your brain developed, before you ever had a thought or emotion, your blood was already there, flowing, carrying with it something beyond DNA. It holds ancestral memory, karmic imprints, and the soul-level gifts you were born with. Ancient spiritual masters understood this. They believed blood was the bridge between the material and the divine, not just something that gives you life, but something that connects you to why you're alive. That's why ancient blood rituals were so powerful, not because of the blood itself, and definitely not because of violence, but because of what the blood represented: life force, soul force, a current that connects all living beings through time. Today, we use blood in a purely medical way. Transfusions save lives, and that's incredible. But in the process, we've almost completely forgotten the deeper truth, that blood is also the carrier of our spiritual lineage. And here's the game changer. When you tap into the spiritual characteristics of your own blood type, you're not just scratching a curiosity itch. You're unlocking a life-changing awareness, a new way of seeing yourself, your relationships, your challenges, and even your mission in this world. Each blood type has a specific energy, a way of experiencing life, reacting to the world, and connecting to the universe. Type O. You're a natural warrior. You carry raw ancestral strength. You're built for leadership, for survival, for charging forward when everyone else hesitates. Type A. You vibrate with harmony. You're all about balance, beauty, and inner peace. Spiritually, you're a healer, someone who sees the order behind the chaos. Type B. You pulse with creativity and freedom. You're a visionary soul, untamed and constantly evolving. You don't fit into boxes, and you're not supposed to. And type AB. You're the rarest, a hybrid. You embody the strengths of all the others: warrior, healer, explorer, and weave them into something entirely unique. You are a bridge between worlds, but we're just getting started. There's another piece of this puzzle, a layer that could point to something even more ancient than humanity itself: the Reich factor. Ever heard of it? This little plus or attached to your blood type holds a whole new level of mystery. And for some, it might reveal a connection that reaches beyond this planet. But before we dive into that, take a moment to sit with this. Your blood isn't random. It's sacred. It's intentional. It's powerful. And when you finally understand its language, you don't just figure out who you are. You remember why you're here. Let's go deeper. Now that you know your blood type might be more than just a medical category, it's time to look at what each one actually means, spiritually, energetically, and even historically. Because yes, each blood type is not just a label, it's a lineage. A spiritual tribe you belong to, passed down through thousands of years of human evolution. Let's start with type O, the oldest blood type. This one goes back about 40,000 years to when humans were still hunter-gatherers. Picture ancient warriors roaming wild landscapes, hunting, protecting, surviving. These weren't just physical roles, they were spiritual ones. They were the pathfinders, the defenders, the ones who carried the fire through the dark. If you have type O blood, you carry that same primal energy. A deep, ancient instinct to lead, to act, to protect what matters. You might feel a strong sense of purpose, a pull toward action, even if you don't always know why. That's your soul remembering its mission. You weren't made to sit on the sidelines. You're here to initiate, to move things forward, to face challenges head-on, not avoid them. Now let's talk about type A, which showed up around 20,000 years ago, right when humans started settling down and practicing agriculture. This was a turning point in our evolution, a shift from survival to cultivation, from wandering to rooting. And with it came a new kind of soul energy. People with type A blood tend to carry this vibration of harmony and order. You're probably the kind of person who brings calm to a chaotic room, who can sense tension before it explodes. Your energy is gentle, but don't confuse that with weakness. It's powerful. You carry the energy of the guardian, the one who maintains balance, protects peace, and nurtures slow, lasting growth. You're here to remind the world that not everything needs to be forced into existence. Some of the most beautiful things unfold naturally, with care and patience. You're aligned with the energy of the earth, stable, fertile, and profoundly wise. Then there's type B, born about 15,000 years ago, likely in the Himalayan regions, and carried across continents by nomads. These were the explorers, the wanderers who couldn't be tied down. Spiritually, type B represents the visionary, the soul who sees things others can't. If you're type B, your energy is fluid, dynamic, creative. You need freedom like you need air. You probably hate being boxed in. You thrive when you're allowed to experiment, to follow your own rhythm. You're adaptable, able to move between cultures, ideas, and even belief systems with ease. You're not here to conform. You're here to innovate, to shake things up, to show people that there's more than one way to live a meaningful life. And finally, there's type AB, the rarest and most recent of the four. It emerged only about 1,000 years ago, likely from the blending of type A and B lineages. And spiritually, it represents a synthesis, a fusion of energies. AB types are complex, multidimensional beings. You're the bridge between opposites, warrior and healer, structure and freedom. If you're AB, you probably feel like you don't fully belong to any one category. And that's because you don't. You weren't made to pick one path. You're here to walk all of them. You understand people on a deep level because you can see all sides of a situation. You're intuitive, insightful, and spiritually attuned in ways that often surprise even you. Each blood type is like a thread in the grand tapestry of humanity's evolution. And knowing your type is like discovering your role in that bigger picture. And here's the wild part. People with the same blood type often feel an instant, unexplainable connection. It's more than shared traits, it's ancestral recognition. You're not just vibing with someone's personality. You're vibing with their energetic frequency. It's soul-to-soul familiarity. So the next time you meet someone and feel that instant spark or comfort, think about this. It could be your blood calling out to a member of your spiritual tribe, a kindred soul whose essence mirrors your own. Now that we've explored the ancient roots of the 4 blood types, we're ready to uncover the hidden traits they carry and how each one shapes your emotions, your relationships, and even your destiny. So, we've uncovered that each blood type is more than biology. It's an energetic signature, a spiritual tribe, and a map of your soul's evolutionary path. But what does that actually look like in real life? How does your blood type influence the way you think, feel, and show up in the world? Let's go back to type O, the warrior soul. If you have type O blood, you are the embodiment of raw life force. You're built for action, movement, and momentum. Whether you realize it or not, people feel your presence the second you walk into a room. You carry a magnetic energy, a kind of quiet authority that doesn't need to shout to be noticed. It's just felt. You were born to lead, but not in the modern CEO kind of way. Your leadership is ancient, spiritual. It's not about control, it's about courage, about standing strong when others crumble, about being the one to charge into the unknown when nobody else dares. You're protective by nature. If someone you love is in danger or treated unfairly, your instincts kick in immediately. You don't choose to defend them, you can't help it. It's who you are. You carry the spiritual blueprint of the protector, the one who ensures safety and order. And let's talk about your relationship with risk. For a type O, risk isn't scary, it's necessary. It excites you. Where others see danger, you see potential. Where others freeze, you move. Your energy is bold and decisive. But here's where it gets real. That intensity comes with challenges. You can be too much for some people, especially those with more sensitive blood types. Your drive might be misread as aggression, your urgency as impatience, your honesty as bluntness. You're not trying to intimidate people. You're just being real, but you'll need to learn how to channel that power with wisdom. Not every fight needs a warrior. Not every conflict is yours to solve. And sometimes the greatest act of strength is knowing when to pause, step back, or listen instead of acting. Spiritually, you're deeply connected to the element of fire. You burn with a passion that can either warm or consume, depending on how aligned you are. When you're in tune with your purpose, your fire inspires people. It ignites movements. But when you lose direction, it can burn you out or burn down your relationships. Your intuition is fierce, primal. You feel things in your gut. You sense danger before it arrives. You see through people's masks almost instantly. But if you don't trust your instincts, or if you bury them under too much logic, you can lose that superpower. And here's something every type O needs to hear. You were not made for mediocrity. You weren't meant to settle into a routine and coast. Your soul is too wild, too vibrant, too driven for that. You need challenges, missions, something to conquer, not out of ego, but because your soul is wired for impact. This doesn't mean you need to chase fame or fortune. It means you need to live with authenticity, to show up as yourself, fully, unapologetically. If you try to fit into society's mold, you'll wither. But when you embrace your nature, when you lead with heart, fight for justice, and move with purpose, you become unstoppable. Your gift is courage. Not fearlessness, courage. The ability to act even when you're scared. And that gift? It inspires others just by witnessing it. So if you're type O, know this: you came here to shake things up, to blaze trails, to protect what's sacred and burn through what's false. You're not here to be nice, You're here to be real. And in that authenticity, you help others find their own strength, ready to explore what it means to carry the soul of a harmonizer. Type A is next. Now we shift gears from the fiery, bold soul of Type O to the calm, steady presence of Type A. If your blood type is A, you came into this world with a mission that's just as powerful, just expressed in a completely different way. You weren't born to dominate or charge ahead. Your strength lies in harmony, in maintaining peace, in nurturing what others overlook. Your soul is here to heal. There's something about your energy that people find instantly comforting. You walk into a room, and without even saying a word, things just feel more centered, calmer. People might tell you you have a soothing presence. That's not a coincidence. It's spiritual. It's part of the gift you brought into this life. Your ancestral lineage goes back to the first humans who transitioned from wandering to settling. When agriculture began, so did the need for patience, order, and understanding natural rhythms. That's you. You're deeply in tune with cycles, whether it's the seasons, human emotions, or the ebb and flow of energy in a room. You feel things most people miss, subtle shifts in mood, tension before it becomes conflict, emotions others try to hide. You pick up on all of it. This isn't just empathy, it's spiritual sensitivity. Your inner antenna is always scanning, always tuning in. That makes you a natural peacekeeper and a quiet force for healing. You're probably someone who values beauty, organization, and meaning. Not because you're superficial, but because your soul understands that the way we do things, the details, the flow, the intention, matters. You don't just want to do something right, you want to do it with care. That quest for harmony often shows up as a desire for perfection, and that can be both a strength and a struggle. On one hand, you create environments, projects, and relationships that are truly beautiful, balanced, intentional, and deeply nourishing. On the other hand, that same drive can lead to self-criticism, overthinking, or feeling like you're never quite enough. Here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Your spiritual strength comes from your ability to persist with grace. To stay true to your values, even when the world gets loud or chaotic. You don't need to compete. You don't need to be louder. You just need to be steady. And that steadiness? It's revolutionary in a world built on hustle. You probably feel deeply connected to nature. Plants thrive in your presence. Animals trust you. You may find peace in gardens, forests, or by simply placing your hands in the soil. That's not a hobby, it's spiritual resonance. Your energy mirrors the earth, grounded, nurturing, quietly powerful. And let's not overlook your intuitive gifts. Your intuition doesn't come as lightning bolts, it comes as gentle nudges, whispers, soft but persistent inner knowing. The challenge is learning to trust those subtle signals. In a noisy world, your intuition needs quiet to be heard. Solitude isn't just nice for you, it's essential. Spiritually, you're like an emotional alchemist. You can take fear and turn it into love. Take conflict and turn it into understanding. And you don't do it with grand gestures. You do it through small, consistent acts of compassion, awareness, and care. That's your magic. Your karmic challenge? Valuing your gentle nature in a world that often glorifies force. You may feel pressure to be more assertive or more aggressive, but those aren't your tools. Your strength is in your grace, your ability to stand firm in softness. The world needs you now more than ever. Your energy helps calm the collective nervous system. You remind people that peace isn't passive, it's a powerful, active choice. You're the thread that holds things together when everything else is unraveling. If you've ever doubted your path because it seems too quiet or too slow, trust this, your path is sacred. You don't need to shout. Your energy speaks volumes in silence. Coming up next, Type B, the free spirit of the blood tribes, visionary, creative, untamed. Now we move into a completely different energetic world, the realm of the Type B soul. If you have Type B blood, you're the wild card, the rebel, the visionary. Spiritually speaking, your soul chose freedom over comfort, innovation over tradition, and authenticity over conformity. You're not here to follow a script. You're here to write your own. Historically, Type B emerged around 15,000 years ago among nomadic peoples in the Himalayan region. These were individuals who refused to stay put, who saw movement not as instability, but as evolution. That nomadic spirit still flows through you. You're not designed for boxes, labels, or rigid rules. You need room to explore, space to dream, and the freedom to reinvent yourself as often as necessary. At your core, you are restless, not in a chaotic way, but in a deeply spiritual way. You are always searching, not just for new experiences, but for new ways of being. You're the kind of person who changes careers, ideas, even belief systems multiple times, and that's not a weakness. It's your superpower. You evolve fast. You think in loops and spirals, not straight lines. Your mind works like a web, always connecting seemingly unrelated dots, always generating possibilities. While others walk the same well-worn path, you're off building a shortcut through the forest, wondering why no one else saw it. You thrive in creativity, innovation, and spontaneity. And when you're given the space to explore, you shine. Type B souls have a magnetic energy that can draw people in quickly. You're the life of the party one moment and then completely off the grid the next. That's part of your nature. You need contrast, solitude and connection, stillness and movement. You don't belong to one mode. You flow between many, often in the same day. You also carry a unique gift, the ability to feel at home anywhere. Different cultures, different environments, even different belief systems, you can adapt to all of them without losing your core. Why? Because your home isn't external. You carry it inside of you. Spiritually, you're connected to the element of air, movement, breath, ideas, change. Your intuition tends to show up in bursts, sudden flashes of insight, random downloads, solutions that hit while you're doing something unrelated. You're not the type to sit in silence and wait for wisdom. You stumble into it on a hike, in a conversation, or while jamming to music alone in your room. But like every blood type, you have karmic challenges. For you, the biggest lesson is learning to balance freedom with connection. Because while you crave independence, you also need meaningful relationships. And sometimes you might sabotage those relationships if you feel too confined, even by love. The key is learning that commitment doesn't mean confinement. The right people won't try to cage you. They'll run alongside you. You might also struggle with consistency. Because you see so many possibilities, it can be hard to pick one and follow through. You're not lazy, you just don't want to get stuck. But discipline, when self-chosen, is a spiritual tool for your growth. Here's the truth you need to hear. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to remind the rest of us that life isn't meant to be a straight line. It's a dance, a journey, a constant unfolding. And when you own that truth, when you stop trying to be normal, you become a force of inspiration. You're not here to live by the rules. You're here to rewrite them. You bring fresh air into stale rooms, new vision into tired systems, and joy into lives that forgot how to be free. Next, we enter the realm of Type AB, the most rare, mystical, and multidimensional of all the blood tribes. Now we arrive at the rarest blood type of them all, Type AB. If this is your blood type, you are a living paradox, a beautiful fusion of opposites, and a soul that doesn't just belong to one path, you belong to many. Only about 4% of the world's population shares this type. And just like in the physical world, this rarity carries deep spiritual significance. You are not here to fit in. You are here to bridge worlds. AB is the result of the union between type A and type B lineages, and that blend makes your soul multidimensional. You understand the discipline and harmony of type A and the creativity and freedom of type B. You feel the warrior strength of type O too, because within you, all of those energies swirl together. This makes you incredibly adaptable, yes, but it also means you're complex. You might feel like you're walking a tightrope between extremes. One moment you're deeply social and expressive. The next, you crave total solitude and inner silence. You might be highly logical in some areas of your life and wildly intuitive in others. This isn't inconsistency, it's integration. Your soul came here with the rare ability to hold contradictions and find unity within them. You are the alchemist of the blood tribes, the one who transforms separation into synthesis. You don't just see different perspectives, you embody them. That's why people often come to you for advice or mediation. You naturally bring people together, not because you're trying to please everyone, but because you can see the pieces of truth in everyone's story. Spiritually, you're a receiver of deep information. Your intuition isn't just a gut feeling, it's a full-spectrum download. You might sense things physically, emotionally, and mentally all at once. For you, knowing comes through layers. You don't always know how you know something, you just do. But this can be overwhelming. Being tuned into so many frequencies means that at times you may feel overloaded, like you're picking up everyone else's emotions, thoughts, or energy. That's why it's vital for AB types to protect their energy and learn how to filter out what's not theirs. You also have a strange relationship with time. You might experience déjà vu frequently or feel connected to ancient cultures and future ideas at the same time. That's not random. It's because your soul spans timelines. You carry ancestral memory and future vision. You are the thread connecting past, present, and possibility. But here's the shadow side. With so many sides of yourself alive at once, you may sometimes feel fragmented. Like you're too much for one life. Like you're trying to live 5 lifetimes at once. Your spiritual work is to embrace all of you, not by forcing everything to work at the same time, but by learning how to move between your different aspects with grace. You don't have to choose between logic and magic, introversion and leadership, order and chaos. You are not either or, you are both and. That's your sacred power. Your karmic challenge, to avoid losing yourself in complexity. When you try to be everything, you can forget who you actually are. The key is integration, not fragmentation. You don't need to choose just one path, you just need to honor all of your paths and learn when each one is meant to shine. You are connected to all 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. You may find that different practices or environments support you at different times, depending on what aspect of yourself is most active. Your soul speaks many languages. And here's your greatest spiritual truth. You are the future of human consciousness, not in a grandiose, egotistical way, but in a very real sense. You represent the next step, beyond division, beyond duality, into a more unified, integrated way of being. You didn't come here to follow. You came here to model what it looks like to live with complexity, compassion, and coherence. Next up, we dive into something even more mysterious, something that challenges not just science, but the very boundaries of what it means to be human, the Reich factor. Up until now, we've talked about the four main blood types, O, A, B, and AB, and how each one carries a unique spiritual signature. But now we're stepping into something even deeper, something far more mysterious. The part of your blood that most people have no idea might be pointing to a lineage beyond human history. It's called the Reich factor. If you've ever had a blood test, you might have seen a little plus or minus after your type, like A plus or O. That plus or minus is the Reich factor. Biologically, it refers to whether or not your blood carries a specific protein, one that's also found in rhesus monkeys. If you do have it, you're Reich positive, like about 85% of the population. If you don't, you're Reich negative, part of a rare 15% of humanity. And that 15%, they are different in a way that science still can't fully explain. Here's the twist. Reich negative individuals don't carry that monkey protein. And while science can describe that fact biologically, it can't explain why this blood type exists at all, or why it behaves the way it does. Think about this. When an Reich negative woman becomes pregnant with an Reich positive baby, her immune system treats the fetus like a foreign invader. It produces antibodies that can actually attack the unborn child. This doesn't happen with any other kind of natural human genetic difference. So the question is, why? Why would a body reject its own offspring based on this one tiny protein? And why does this protein exist in some people but not others? Here's where it gets even more fascinating. For decades, scientists, mystics, and spiritual seekers alike have asked whether Reich negative blood might be the result of an ancient divergence, possibly even a non-human lineage. Stay with me. Ancient traditions around the world speak of sky beings, star visitors, or divine ancestors who descended from the heavens to help humanity evolve. Some call them gods, others angels. In esoteric teachings, they're known as the star people or the watchers. Some believe that Reich negative blood might be the remnant of these ancient visitors, a cosmic fingerprint left behind. If you're Reich negative, you might have felt this difference your whole life. Maybe you've had strange dreams about places you've never visited, but that feel familiar. Maybe you've always looked up at the stars and felt homesick, like you're remembering something instead of just imagining it. You may be extremely sensitive to energy. You can walk into a room and instantly feel the mood, or know when something's off before anyone says a word. You may struggle with large crowds, bright lights, or chaotic environments, not because you're fragile, but because your system is tuned in, like an antenna picking up frequencies that others don't even notice. You might also have heightened intuition, precognitive dreams, or flashes of insight that come out of nowhere and later turn out to be true. You may have a strange knowing about people, who they are, what they're going through, what they're hiding. You might think it's just your imagination. But what if it isn't? What if your sensitivity is actually a gift? Reich-negative people often feel like outsiders, not because they're antisocial, but because they don't experience the world the same way others do. They're more connected to the subtle, the invisible, the spiritual. And while that can be isolating, it's also incredibly powerful, because your mission might not be to fit in. It might be to awaken, to help others remember there's more to this life than what we can see, to bridge the material and the metaphysical, to act as a quiet guide in a world that's forgotten how to listen. You're not better than anyone else, but you are wired differently, and that difference might hold clues to a cosmic inheritance, one that challenges everything we think we know about where we come from. In the next part, we'll explore how your blood, not just type, but compatibility, affects your relationships, your karma, and even who your soul naturally connects with. By now, you've probably started to see your blood in a totally different light. It's not just a fluid, it's an energetic blueprint, a spiritual inheritance, a signal of your soul's design. But here's where things get even more intimate. Because your blood isn't just about you, it also affects who you connect with. And how. You've probably experienced it, that instant bond with someone. Like you've known them forever, even if you just met. No awkwardness, no small talk needed. It just clicks. On the flip side, maybe you've also met people where, no matter how hard you try, something always feels off. Like you're speaking different emotional languages. What if I told you part of that could be linked to blood compatibility, not just biologically, but energetically? Let's start with something familiar from science. Blood type compatibility matters in medical contexts like transfusions. Type O is the universal donor, and type AB is the universal receiver. That alone tells us something spiritual. Type O souls are designed to give, to offer energy, support, protection. Their essence adapts and flows to others, making them naturally nurturing and broadly compatible. Type AB souls, on the other hand, are designed to receive, not in a selfish way, but in a way that allows them to hold multiple energies and integrate them. They're natural bridges, connecting opposites and finding wholeness in diversity. But this goes far beyond transfusions. This is about energetic chemistry. When two people have compatible blood types, something more than just biology aligns. There's a resonance, a feeling of spiritual harmony that makes emotional and even psychic connection easier. You might finish each other's sentences, feel each other's emotions before they're spoken, navigate conflict more gracefully. It's like your soul recognizes the energetic pattern of the other person, not consciously, but deeply. On the flip side, when blood types aren't naturally compatible, that relationship can still work, but it may come with spiritual friction. You're being asked to grow through that bond, to stretch beyond your comfort zone. These kinds of connections are often the ones that challenge your old patterns, push your buttons, force you to evolve. Sound familiar? Now let's add another layer, the Reich factor. Reich negative people often feel a strong, almost telepathic connection with other Reich negative individuals. They don't have to explain their sensitivities. They just get each other. The vibe is subtle, unspoken, but profound, like meeting someone from your home planet after a lifetime of feeling like an alien. Reich positives and Reich negatives can form deep bonds, but it may take more intention and awareness. The energetic language is different. The way they process emotions, intuition, and even physical energy might not sync up at first. But if they can honor those differences, the relationship can be incredibly healing and expansive. In fact, some of the most transformative relationships happen between incompatible blood types. Why? Because they force you to evolve beyond instinct. You're being invited to love not just what's easy, but what's necessary for your soul's growth. And here's something wild. Relationships between people of the same blood type often feel like looking into a mirror. There's deep familiarity, but also the risk of reflecting back each other's unresolved shadows. It can be beautiful, or intense, or both. So, the next time you meet someone and feel an instant spark, or an unexplainable discomfort, tune in. What's happening isn't just personality-based. You might be picking up on ancient, energetic blood memory. It's not about judgment, it's about awareness. Knowing your energetic tendencies helps you love more consciously. It helps you honor your nature and others. Because true love isn't about finding someone who fits your blood type like a puzzle piece. It's about recognizing whose soul resonates with yours, whether through ease or challenge, and choosing to grow together. In the next part, we'll explore how you can amplify your spiritual power through rituals, crystals, and elemental practices designed specifically for your blood type. This is where things get practical and magical. So far, we've talked about what your blood type means, your spiritual tribe, your ancestral energy, and even how you connect with others. But now let's talk about what to do with that knowledge. Because once you understand your energetic blueprint, you can work with it intentionally. That means choosing practices, crystals, rituals, and even elements that naturally amplify your spiritual power instead of draining it. Let's break it down by type. Type O, Sacred Warrior Rituals. If you're Type O, your energy is fire. You are action, motion, instinct, and intensity. Stillness can frustrate you. You're meant to move. Your best practices are dynamic, not passive. Things like walking meditation. Focus your attention on each step while visualizing your energy pushing forward with purpose. Breathwork, especially powerful, rhythmic breathing like Wim Hof or Kundalini breath of fire. Freeform dance, not choreographed, just letting your body lead your spirit. Your element is fire, so rituals involving candles are especially powerful. Try this: light a red candle for courage, a gold candle for leadership, a white candle when you need mental clarity or divine guidance. Sit with the flame. Visualize it igniting your purpose. Power crystals for you include red garnet, boosts life force; carnelian, fires up your confidence; hematite, keeps you grounded; smoky quartz, offers protection when your energy gets too intense. Repeat mantras that affirm your sacred strength. I lead with love. I protect with purpose. I act with wisdom. Type A, Sacred Harmony Rituals. If you're Type A, your energy is earth. Grounded, calm, refined. You're not here to rush. You're here to bring order and peace. You thrive in quiet, structured spiritual practices, silent meditation, especially early in the morning when the world is still. Journaling, reflect, plan, process. Breathing with intention, slow, deep, restorative breaths to reset your nervous system. Nature is your spiritual ally. Try this: walk barefoot on the earth or grass. Tend a small garden. Plant a seed with an intention and care for it daily, watching your dream grow. Your best crystals are those that nurture peace and emotional clarity. Rose quartz, unconditional love; amethyst, mental peace; green fluorite, emotional balance; selenite, for energetic cleansing and protection. Daily gratitude rituals will uplift you. Try writing 3 small moments of joy or beauty every evening. That simple act helps your soul feel nourished. Your affirmations might be: I create peace, I honor beauty, I grow through love and presence. Type B, Sacred Freedom Rituals. If you're Type B, your energy is air. Light, creative, unpredictable, and full of movement. Routine can suffocate you. You need practices that are fluid and adaptable. Try walking meditations in different locations. Let your body move freely as your mind opens. Journaling on the go, voice memos, sketches, or spontaneous writing work best for you. Vision boarding or intuitive art. Let your creativity guide your insights. Your intuition works like lightning, fast, unpredictable, and full of clarity. Lean into that by trying different breathwork techniques, depending on the day's energy. Alternate nostril breathing for balance, rapid breathing for energy, deep belly breathing for calm. Your element is air, so anything that moves or inspires will fuel your spirit. Sound healing, wind chimes, incense rituals, they all align with your frequency. Your crystals, citrine, creativity and joy, turquoise, higher communication, amazonite, emotional flow, labradorite, intuitive expansion. Your affirmations might sound like, I evolve freely, I create fearlessly, I follow the rhythm of my soul. Type AB, sacred integration rituals. And finally, if you're type AB, your energy is everything. You hold earth, fire, air, and water. You're not just one frequency, you're the symphony. Your practices need to reflect your multidimensional nature. Try combining active and passive meditations. Chant or visualize for 10 minutes, then sit in silence for the next 10. Elemental altars. Place a candle, fire, incense, air, water bowl, water, and crystal earth together as a visual of your unity. You don't need consistency, you need sacred variety. One day you may need silence. Another, movement. Trust what calls you. Crystals that help you integrate rather than overwhelm include clear quartz, amplifies everything with clarity, purple fluorite, spiritual insight and order, moldavite, deep transformation, ametrine, for balancing opposites. And your affirmation: I embrace all of me. I unify all truths. I channel complexity into clarity. In the final part, we'll share a universal practice, the sacred blood ritual, and how to carry everything you've learned into your daily life with power, grace, and spiritual clarity. Now that you know your blood's energetic nature, its lineage, its element, its spiritual power, you're ready for the most personal practice of all, the sacred blood ritual. This ritual isn't religious, it isn't dogma, it's a direct conversation between you and the life force that has carried you from the womb to this very moment. It's a practice of remembrance, of who you are, where you came from, and why your soul chose this exact body, this exact blood, this exact time. Here's how to do it. The sacred blood ritual. Find a quiet space. It doesn't need to be fancy, just a spot where you feel safe and undisturbed. Sit or stand comfortably. Take a few slow breaths. Then, place your hand over your heart. Feel the beat. That's your blood moving through you. Your heart pumping ancient energy with every beat. Let yourself become aware of it. Now, say this aloud or in your mind, slowly, deliberately, with presence. My blood carries the wisdom of my ancestors, the strength of my present, and the potential of my future. I honor the life that flows through me. Repeat this as many times as you need. You might feel heat, tingling, even emotion rising up. That's not just your imagination, it's energy awakening. It's your cells responding to recognition. You can do this ritual anytime, when you feel lost, when you're stepping into something new, when you need to remember who you are, or simply to connect with the sacredness of being alive. Living in alignment with your blood. Understanding your blood type isn't about labeling yourself, it's about liberating yourself, about aligning your daily life with your energetic nature so you can live with more peace, more purpose, and more power. When you know your type, you stop trying to fit into molds that don't serve you. If you're type O, you stop apologizing for being bold, intense, and driven. You lead because your soul remembers how. If you're type A, you stop seeing your gentleness as weakness. You bring harmony into chaos, and that's a gift the world desperately needs. If you're type B, you stop questioning your need for freedom and change. You're not unstable. You're designed to expand what's possible. If you're type AB, you stop trying to simplify yourself for others. You were born to hold contradictions, to integrate opposites, to guide others into wholeness. And if you're Raj negative, you stop feeling like an outsider. You carry a different frequency for a reason. You're here to help others remember the unseen, the cosmic, the infinite. The final truth: your blood is your soul's ink. Everything you've lived, every fear, every joy, every transformation, it's all been written in your blood. Your relationships, your karmic lessons, your natural gifts, they're encoded in the very liquid that sustains you. This is why blood has always been sacred. It's not just about life, it is life. When you honor your blood, you honor your essence, and when you live from that place, aligned with who you truly are, you unlock your true power. Not the kind of power that dominates, the kind that radiates, that uplifts, that transforms everything it touches. So whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or deep in the work already, remember this: your blood doesn't lie. It remembers who you are. And it's ready for you to remember too. Not just as a concept, but as a living truth. Let your blood guide your next steps. Let your soul walk in sync with its ancient rhythm. You're not here by accident. You're here on purpose, with purpose, and now you know exactly how to honor it. The sacred journey begins within,